But the second element of this is that there is what's not being spoken about, well, it's definitely being spoken about on my podcast, is the growing alphabet mafia, and how they are now adding letters that really just imply sexual deviancy. You know what I mean?
Candace Owens just dropped absolute bombs on the PBD podcast, tearing into the absurdity of men identifying as women to dodge consequences in prison, the unchecked sexual deviancy parading under the LGBTQ umbrella, and the outright insanity of mainstream culture enabling it. And trust me, Candace Owens is not holding back. So let's dive in, because Candace Owens is calling out every single hypocrisy, and I am here for it.
So a report from Wisconsin Department of Correction reveals that over 50% of male inmates identifying as transgender females in Wisconsin prisons have been convicted of at least one count of sexual assault or sexual abuse. Out of 161 transgender identifying male inmates, 81 of them have been convicted of such offenses, including crimes like sexual exploitation of child, rape, and sexual intercourse without consent. The Oversight Project at the Heritage Foundation obtained these records, and Director Mike Howell emphasized that men belong with men and men only in prison. He argued that housing sex offender men who claim to be women with female inmates is concerning and contributes to perceived moral decline. What do you have to say about this story?
I mean, least surprising story ever. I've been talking about this, and there's a two-prong approach here. First and foremost, the advantage of a man, you commit a crime, you commit a sex crime, you molest a child, and you know how they treat pedophiles in prison, you know how they treat sexual deviants in prison. So you just say, actually, no, I'm transgendered. That's what's actually happening. Please put me amongst the women inmates who now need to accept. And the fact that the prisons are doing this, they're acknowledging them and affirming them, and that taxpayers are having to bear the expense. I can't even talk about how much that infuriates me. But the second element of this is that there is what's not being spoken about, well, it's definitely being spoken about on my podcast, is the growing alphabet mafia, and how they are now adding letters that really just imply sexual deviancy. You know what I mean? Like a man feeling the need to put on panties, a woman's underwear, and you're pretending that that's like a gender or an identity. Perfect example, Sam Brinton, the nuclear energy White House person, who literally was open about the fact that he was a sexual deviant. I mean, wearing heels, lipsticks, into pup play, which if you look into what pup play actually is, you will be shocked at how disgusting it is. You know, on a leash, and still got the job. You know, you used to be fearful that if they Googled you and you'd find this stuff online, your employer, you couldn't get hired. This guy got right.
This guy.
That used to be that used to be a disqualifier if you could find somebody naked and in straps and to pup play. Sam Brinton just outwardly, I am a freak and flying my freak flag high, gets the job at the White House.
Wow. How did we get here? Candace Owens is spot on. There was a time when having a literal history of open deviant behavior would have disqualified you from high-level government jobs. But now it's a resume booster. Like, oh, you wear dog masks and steal women's luggage? Perfect fit for nuclear waste management. I don't know about you guys, but this is absolute clown world.
He was the
head of nuclear waste in the energy department.
I gotta go.
No, I promise you. I promise you. And then guess what happened?
He's a klepto.
He got arrested three times for stealing women's panties at freaking airports.
That guy?
Yes. And
not just one pair, a whole suitcase full.
I'm
calling BS. A guy like that would never do something like this, Candace. What are you talking about?
What are you supposed to be surprised?
I am shocked
told you I'm
a
freak, and then I did some freaky things, right? And that's what's happening right now in this climate of non-binary. I'm a man, but I want to wear women's underwear and be free. They're telling you that something is wrong, right? They are saying I am flying my freak flag high, and then we're all supposed to be shocked when they do something that's sexually deviant. And that it's mind-boggling to me. It's why it is an issue that I care passionately about. I am a mother to young children. Why does a drag queen want access to a child? Can anybody answer that big question? Okay, you're a man and you like to dress up as a woman and go to nightclubs. Okay, flying your free flag high. Now you're demanding access to read books to children. Does that not just does it pass the sniff test, guys?
Nope. Not even close. Candace Owens is saying what every sane person is thinking on the PBD podcast. There is zero reason a drag queen should be reading to kids. Like, I'm sorry, when did we start pretending this is normal? The fact that people are even defending this is wild. Great take by Candace Owens, if you ask me.
You know? And then you have women out there.
With this one.
You know, it's really interesting.
We're here. We're queer. We're coming for your children. You've heard this before.
Yes.
Let's all say it in unison, guys. Right? I mean, it's scary.
And here's my thing. Like, for instance, like you know, we have everybody here has freaking gay friends. I have gay family members. When it comes to like the Pride Month and everything, it's like, because you're talking about the sexuality of it. It's like, when is it ever cool? Name another month or a day or a moment where it's cool for any group to walk outside butt naked, G-string. And I get that there's like people are bringing their kids, which I think they should, you know, go to jail. But when is it ever cool for you to be on a bike butt naked? Yeah. How is that?
Literally, if I said, hey guys, tomorrow's family day.
Okay.
We're going to have a family parade and we're going to celebrate families. No person is showing up butt naked, right? It's no family showing. So
well, you don't know
there's
Tom.
something
Tom
about
goes crazy.
Get naked, get on a bicycle. You know, the men that were on bicycles, literally naked, right? But for some reason, when you say it's an LGBTQ pride parade, you know you're going to see nudity. What does that tell you? And people are fearful to talk about this, and it's crazy to me as a parent that we've allowed this to go so far. That we've allowed sexual deviancy to be perceived as an identity, you know?
Exactly. Candace Owens is 100% right on this PBD podcast episode. This isn't about love, tolerance, or equality anymore. It's about pushing boundaries nobody asked for. Why do we keep bending over backwards to normalize things that literally every generation before us saw as a red flag?
As you know, something that needs to be treated and loved. And who are the people behind saying we have women? It's always women.
Why do women not see the ridiculousness? And why aren't the women speaking out more about trans men in sports? Like, why don't?
Well, because those
aren't.
Those are feminists. Those are the Chelsea handlers, right? And so that's a whole different simulation. It's the moms at home are not the ones that are pushing that.
What percentage of women under 30, best guess, do you think fall into that type of ideology?
Like feminist?
Yeah. Like they love Chelsea Handler. They're cool with this. They're cool with men being in sports.
Difference if you're talking like early 20s versus end of 20s.
I'm saying Gen Z. Let's talk about that. 25 and under. That's the future. Mm-hmm. This is who we're trying to convince not to go down this path.
Candace Owens is absolutely fearless on the PBD podcast. And honestly, this is why people love her. She's saying the things everyone else is too scared to say. This isn't about hating anyone. It's about calling out the insanity that's being shoved down our throats daily. If people don't wake up and start drawing some hard lines, things are only going to get worse. No more pretending, no more appeasement. Stand up. And if you think Candace Owens is exaggerating, just wait. Because if we don't stop this nonsense now, the next generation is going to be the one paying the ultimate price.